Well, let's start with this. Understanding that, kind of as a baseline, people tend to understand ChatGPT as AI. And you mentioned before that basically this large language model, what it does is it has a whole bunch of information from the internet and it goes through that to try to guess the next word that you're asking about, right? So, um, but obviously, in order to do the kinds of predictions that Rhombus is doing, you need other data. You can't just take everything on the internet. So where does all this data come from?
Okay, great question. So it comes from a variety of sources, all commercial and publicly available sources. So this is satellites, multiple kinds of satellites that we access, all commercial. We have access on social media, mainstream media. We have a variety of ad tech related sources. We have lots and lots of socioeconomic data sources, climate related data, trade, sentiments, all of that. And then much of the data that comes in is there are over 5,000 streams of data coming into the system. So it gets fused based on what's needed for addressing a particular type of question. And so it all begins with asking the right kinds of questions.
So as computing power gets more powerful, and presumably one day we'll have quantum computers out there, will that improve the quality of the analysis or just the speed with which it's done?
Oh, that's a good question. It'll definitely improve speed. Yes. It a question of quality. So when you think about artificial intelligence, I really like Judea Pearl's way of describing it. And let me describe that to you. He thinks of a triangle, right? A triangle. And think of three layers in that triangle. Okay. The bottom layer is, think of it as correlation. Okay. Association. He calls it association. It's the same thing as correlation. So data is being fed into this triangle. The bottom layer is doing association between the data. Okay. The next level up is, he calls it intervention. Okay. Which means you're intervening and probing into the data to ask what is causing what. Trying to figure that out. Trying
So
to,
you can query the system in real
yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly. And then the third level up is what he calls counterfactuals, which I call imagination. So if you think of these three levels, for any system to have artificial intelligence capability, and he dubs it as weak AI, not strong AI. For even this is weak AI. You need all three. Okay. So now the question is, what is imagination, right? What is counterfactual? Counterfactual is facts that haven't happened, right? What's never happened before. Okay. So that means there is no data for it, right? Okay. So you know what humans are really, really, really good at? Imagination. Limited amount of data, but lots of imagination. You know what machines are very good at? Lots of data, lots of association. Okay. And the middle layer is actually a hybrid between humans and machines right now. Okay. Now we can get into this debate of whether ChatGPT imagines things or not. Okay. But I think we can probably agree that it doesn't imagine things very well as of yet. Okay. So the question of analysis you asked is actually related to that. It is related to the ability of not just machines and not just the compute side of things, but also the programming, the modeling and programming side of things in a way that humans will direct ultimately. Okay. Well, some of that code could be written by artificial intelligence bots and so on, but again, that's our choice. And that is critical for the quality of analysis to improve.